Good morning, class 10. Welcome back. We have to continue the chapter which we were doing last time. Two stories about flying. We were doing part 1 of this chapter, his first flight. And I hope you have understood whatever we did last time. I had discussed the difficult word meanings with you. I had explained the paragraphs also. And today we will continue with the lesson. Now, I am starting from some previous lines which we read last time, just to recap, to remember once again, to recall once again what we were doing. Okay, so I am starting from the paragraph from where we had stopped last time. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretending to be falling asleep, still they took no notice of him. If you remember, we are talking about the seagull. The seagull was pretending to be sleeping, but nobody paid any attention to him. They took no notice of him. Neither his parents nor his brothers or sister, nobody took any notice of him. That means they did not pay any attention to him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. I had explained the meaning of dozing also. Dozing means they were sleeping. Brothers and sister, all of them were sleeping on the plateau with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening. Preening means he was making an effort to maintain his feathers. He was soothing his feathers. His father was preening the feathers of his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. Only his mother was looking at whom? At the seagull. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. Now, from here, we will see a turning point of the story. This is the turning point of the story because when the seagull keeps watching the activity of his mother, that his mother is holding a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and she is tearing it. She is tearing that piece of fish, and she is also sharpening her beak by rubbing it against the rock. Now this encourages the seagull because the seagull remembers this activity was done by him also. He remembers how much he used to like this act of holding the prey in its beak, tearing it himself and rubbing his beak against the rock to sharpen it. The sight of the food maddened him. As we have read earlier, that the seagull had not eaten anything for the past 24 hours, so he was very hungry, and that is why the sight of food maddened him. He was desperate to eat something. He was desperate to have something as his food. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Wet it means to sharpen his beak. Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Now, as the seagull watches his mother holding a piece of fish, he is calling his mother ga, 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 and he wants his mother to bring some food to him. Ga kola, she screamed back. Derisively. Derisively, the meaning is given in a manner showing someone is stupid. That means when the seagull called his mother and asked her to bring some food for him to eat, what is the response of his mother? His mother is not showing any sympathy, any mercy at this time, but she gives a reaction which indicated that the seagull was behaving in a stupid manner. The seagull was stupid and was behaving in a foolish manner. She screamed back derisively. But he kept calling plaintively. He kept calling plaintively means sadly, in a sad tone, in a mournful tone, in a disappointed tone. The seagull kept on calling his mother for bringing some food to him. But he kept calling plaintively, and after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across to him with it. Now, why is the seagull's mother holding the piece of fish and she is flying across to him with it? Because she wants to tempt. She wants to tempt the seagull that, see, I am holding a piece of fish in my beak. If you have the courage, fly and take it from me. His mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly. He leaned out from where? From the high cliff where the seagull was sitting. From that place, he leaned out. He was peeping outside. Why he was peeping? Because he wanted to grab that piece of fish which his mother was holding in his beak. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet. Now, tapping the rock with his feet shows how desperate the seagull is to grab that piece of fish from his mother. Tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. As I just told you, that tapping of the feet here shows how desperate the seagull is, how eager the seagull is to catch that fish, to get hold of that piece of fish which his mother is holding in his beak. Trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within the reach of his beak. Now the mother is trying to get closer to the seagull. And why she is trying to get closer? So that she could tempt more and more. She could encourage the seagull more and more to come on. This is an indication to teach the seagull, to inspire the seagull that, come on, leave your fear, leave that fright which is there in you, within you, and fly high like your other brothers and sister are doing. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within the reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. Closer and closer, as you have seen that she was coming, his mother was coming closer and closer to the seagull in order to encourage him more and more to start flying. Leave that fear, don't be afraid, start flying. She was giving this indication by holding the fish in her beak and by coming closer and closer to the seagull. So when the seagull saw that the mother was coming closer, he was a little surprised. He waited a moment in surprise. Why he was surprised? Because he was not able to understand that why his mother is coming closer with the fish in her beak, but she is not giving that piece of fish. And he was maddened by hunger. We have read this earlier also. He was extremely hungry by this time. Maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. Now he couldn't control. He attacked the fish. He tried to grab the fish now. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into the space. Now see, this is the climax of the story, children. Now what happens? As the seagull moved a little more in front to take the fish from his mother's beak, now he was in the air. He fell outwards and downwards into the space. Now this was the turning point in the life of the seagull, because this was his first flight. This was the first time when he had dived independently without any fear, any more fear in his heart. He was now in the space. Then a monstrous terror seized him. Although he dived, he was in the air now. But it is not that he was totally bold and courageous and he had no fear. He had lot of fear. He was attacked, he was seized by a monstrous terror. That means monster is a giant, So here terror is compared to a giant. That means the amount of fear in the heart of the seagull at this time was immense. It cannot be explained. It was very, very big. The fear was too much. It was too great within him. But he was flying. I am reading this line again. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. That means now he was unable to control the extraordinary fear within him, and his heart stood still. That means a thought came in his mind that now he will die. Now nobody can save him. He has to die now. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing. He could hear nothing because he was in the open space now, and his heart, his mind were full of fear and terror. He could not hear anything around him. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. What lasted? This fear. This fear within him was only for a few minutes. It lasted for a few minutes only. Then what happened? It vanished. And when it vanished forever. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. That means now he was flying so independently, so conveniently, without any difficulty. He was so swift in his movements that his wings were cutting the air and he was flying all around without any problem of any kind. I am reading these lines again. These are very important. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was flying so smoothly, so beautifully that his wings were cutting the air. That means he was flying everywhere. He was flying very conveniently. He was not falling headlong now. He was not falling headlong now. That means earlier he had some problem. When he had just started flying, he was not able to control his movements and he was falling a little bit. But now he was not falling. He was flying as his other brothers and sister could, or his parents could fly. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. Now see the improvement in his way of flying. He was soaring gradually. Soaring means he was moving high and coming down. He was moving upwards and downwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy meaning is given, children. I am reading out for you. An uncomfortable feeling of spinning around and losing one's balance. In Hindi it is called as chakkar aana. This is dizzy. Why he was feeling dizzy? Because it was the first time when he was moving around in the space. It was the first time when he had experienced how to fly in this vast expanse, in this vast area. So for a small span of time, he was feeling dizzy. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga ga ga, ga ga, ga call ah. His mother swooped past him. Now seeing her seagull flying so conveniently, without any more fear in his heart, without any difficulty, the mother is overwhelmed. This everybody experiences always in one's life. Whenever we do something extraordinary, or whenever we achieve some success in our work, the work may be a small one or a big achievement, but who is the happiest? Our parents, the mother and the father, both are the people who are the happiest people in the world, and they will appreciate the least achievement you do in your life. Okay, achievement is not only, it is not necessary that the achievement should be a big one. Even if you get 10 out of 10 in a class test, your parents will always appreciate you. They will always encourage you for your hard work. So this is the same reaction of seagull's mother. Ga 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 ga, ga kola. His mother swooped past him. That means she flew past him. Her wings making a loud noise. She was flying so fast that her wings were making a noise. He answered her with another scream. Now when his mother appreciated and she was speaking in her own language, the answer was given by the seagull. He answered her with another scream. Then his mother flew over him screaming. Then his mother flew over him screaming. Screaming here does not show that she was screaming due to anger. She was overwhelmed. She was overjoyed and she was screaming out of joy. Then his father flew then his father flew over him screaming. This is not the mother's reaction. Sorry, I think I said mother earlier. His father is also overwhelmed like his mother. Earlier we have seen the mother's reaction. Now here the father is also overwhelmed and he is screaming. He is showing his joy and happiness at the success of the seagull. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. See, the meanings are given here, children. Curveting, leaping like a horse. Banking, flying with one wing higher than the other. This is a very common feature you can see if you see birds flying in the sky many a time, especially children. This is a very distinct feature of an eagle. When eagles fly, this banking feature can be seen very clearly. One wing is lower than the other wing, or you can say one wing is higher than the other wing. I am reading this again. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting. That means they were leaping like a horse. Like a horse leaps very fast with smooth steps. In the same way, when the seagull was flying in the sky, he saw his brothers and sisters. They were flying around him. They were also leaping like a horse. They were banking. That means their one wing was higher than the other one, and soaring and diving. Once they were soaring high in the sky, then at the other moment they were diving down. Why they were doing this activity? Why they were flying around the seagull? Because all were very happy. Not only the parents, but his brothers and sister, all were equally happy. All were overwhelmed to see that the seagull was successfully flying now without any fear, without anybody's help. Banking and soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. What a wonderful experience, you can imagine. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. The moment the seagull is flying so beautifully in the space, in the sky, Now she has forgotten those dreadful moments. She has forgotten that once she was so frightened that he was even afraid to put a step forward. He had a fear of falling down. If you remember, when he was sitting on the high cliff, he had a fear of falling down, and he never used to have that courage to put his step forward. But now he doesn't even remember or doesn't even want to remember those dreadful moments. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. Commended means he appreciated himself. Commend means to appreciate, okay? So the seagull commended himself to dive and soar and curve and shrieking shrilly. That means the seagull is appreciating his own efforts, and he is diving downwards, he is soaring high in the sky, then he is making a curve, he is moving round and round and shrieking shrilly. That means speaking out, making a loud sound, a shrill sound, calling out his mother, father, brothers, sister, making a joyful sound loudly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it. Now, till now we have read that the seagull was flying over the sea, in the sky, in the open space. But now he was near the sea. Then he was near the sea now, flying straight over it. Over it means over the sea. Facing straight out over the ocean. He was facing the ocean and flying over it now. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. What did he see? The sea water. He saw green colored water, the sea water under him, beneath him, with little ridges moving over it. Small ridges. What are ridges? Long, narrow hilltop. Long, narrow hilltop. Hill-like structures are called ridges. So when he was near the sea water, when he was over the sea water now, he could see little ridges moving over it. And he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. He was making a sound showing his amusement, showing his happiness, and he was turning his beak sideways. What does this show? That he was enjoying also to be near the sea water. He was looking all around, turning his beak sideways and making an amusing sound, a joyful sound. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring. Green flooring is the green sea, ahead of him. That means before the seagull could land on the green sea, his parents and his brothers and sisters had already landed on that green floor, that is the green sea. They were beckoning to him. Beckoning means to call. Beckon means to call. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. They were making a shrill sound in order to call the seagull that we are here on the sea floor, you also come and join us. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to land on the green sea. Now the seagull attempts to land on the green sea. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. As the seagull made an attempt to land on the green sea, what happened? His legs sank into it. He felt as if he would sink into the sea. He would drown into the sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. When the first time he fell and he experienced as if he would sink into the sea, he screamed with fright. Now again he was very frightened. But this fright was only for some moments. And he attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. Although he was frightened, although he was afraid for a little bit of time, for some moments, but he again made an attempt to rise his wings, to rise himself again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger. Although he made a brave attempt to rise again, but his attempt was not 100% successful because his body had become weak by now. He was tired also. He was weak because he had not eaten anything for a very long time. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise. Which exercise? Flying. When the first time he flew, it was an exhausting exercise for him. It was a tiring activity for him. Moreover, he was very hungry. So, due to tiredness and hunger, his body did not have so much of strength, and that is why he could not rise above the sea. Exhausted by the strange exercise, his feet sank into the green sea. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly, that is his stomach, touched it. His feet sank into the green sea and his stomach touched it, and he sank no farther. For a moment he sank, and his body, his stomach touched the green sea, but he sank no farther. That means he did not sink any more. Little bit he sank, but he did not sink any more. He was floating on it. He was floating on the sea water now. He was floating on it, and around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dog fish. Now, when finally the seagull was successful on landing on the sea, on the green sea, he was no more sinking. His body was floating on the sea water. All his family members, his parents, his brothers, sister, all started screaming. Why? Not due to any fault which he had made, but they were appreciating his effort of landing on the sea. They were praising him. A family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dog fish. The beaks of his parents, brothers, and sister all were offering him scraps of dog fish, because all of them knew that the seagull was extremely hungry. He had not eaten anything for a long time. He had made his first flight. So this is how the chapter comes to an end, by telling us that this is how the effort was made because of continuous determination and strong willpower to get food. Finally, the seagull was able to fly without any fear, and now he was able to land on the green sea like his parents did, like his brothers and sister did, and he attained success in all his endeavors. So this was his first flight. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. And what did you learn from the lesson? Never lose hope. In one line we can say the moral of the story is never lose hope. One should be hopeful, one should be determined, should have self-confidence and strong willpower, and he will be able to overcome every obstacle that come in his way. Difficulties may be big or small, challenges may be great in life, but we should be determined that we will achieve success. This strength, this strong willpower within us will help us to overcome every difficulty in our lives, and we will be successful in all our projects, Projects means in whatever tasks we undertake. So this is how the chapter ends with a positive note.